Welcome to our workshop. Today we are diving into the world of solid principles, specifically the very first one, the single responsibility principle, or S principle for short. Solid is a set of five foundational principles in object oriented programming that help developers write scalable, maintainable code. Let's start with the first solid principle, the principle of single responsibility. Let me give you a phrase worth remembering. A class should have one and only one reason to change. That's the essence of the single responsibility principle. It means your class should be responsible for just one logical task. Why? Because when a class handles multiple responsibilities, bugs become more likely. You tweak one part of the logic and suddenly, without realizing it, you've broken something else. What's the purpose of this principle? It's all about separating behaviors. Let's look at a classic example of violating this principle. Imagine a user class that stores a name and email, but it also has a method for working with database, a method for sending emails. That's three different responsibilities in one place. Now, if someone asks you to update the database logic, you might accidentally mess with the email functionality. Not good. So let's fix it. We split the logic into separate classes, each one handling a single behavior. Now, when we change something, we only affect one unit. That's as principle in action. Let's look at another example. Say you have a class that manages a collection of waypoints, but it also reads and writes them to a database. Again, two different behaviors in one controller. Let's apply as principle. We split it into two classes, one for managing the collection, one for handling database operations. Now, each class has a clear single responsibility. From my own experience, most developers I've worked with, including myself, agree that solid principles are useful, but here the reality they are often ignored. Seniors might say, we already write good code, solid is just theory. Juniors memorize the principles for interviews and forget them once they land the job. Still, I believe it's incredibly valuable to spot violation of solid principles in real code, especially S principle. In fact, S principle is probably the most commonly broken principle in OOP. Here's a powerful rule. When your code gets too complex, fight back by making new entities, new classes that encapsulate parts of the system. When you truly care about S principle, your code becomes clean and readable. Other developers might look at it and think, wow, this is so simple, anyone could have written it. That's the natural art of programming. And one more huge benefit of S principle, unit testing. Unit tests are meant to test one unit of behavior. Good tests aren't written to trivial code, like one line, getters, setters, but they also shouldn't target overly complex code with tons of logic and dependencies. What do? We apply S principle. We move the complex logic into a domain model, a clean, testable unit. Then we use controllers to glue everything together. Controllers can be tricky when it comes to S principle, but it's doable, especially if your project isn't complex. That's all, thanks for tuning in. Keep creating beautiful code. This was Igorion. See you next time. Take care and happy coding. Bye bye.